Welcome to the deep dive. We're cutting through the noise today, getting straight into quantum computing.
hmm
And forget the really abstract science for a second. We're diving headfirst into it as, well, a field that's evolving incredibly fast. Real-world applications are happening right now.
Yeah, it's definitely moving beyond the lab.
It really is. I mean, it's got such a buzz that 2025 has even been declared the International Year of Quantum by the United Nations.
That's right. Quite a statement, isn't it?
It really signals how significant this moment is.
It really is a pivotal time. And, the demand for skilled professionals, it's just skyrocketing. It signals a massive opportunity if you're looking to build a career in, well, a truly cutting-edge area.
That's precisely it. And speaking of navigating this landscape, our mission today is really to give you a clear map of quantum computing careers.
Okay.
We're going to explore the different pathways, the essential skills you'd actually need, and maybe some surprising opportunities you haven't thought of.
Sounds good.
The goal is you leave this deep dive well-informed and hopefully ready to catch this quantum wave.
And we should say, we've built this whole deep dive from a really fantastic stack of expert sources.
All right.
We're talking detailed step-by-step guides, comprehensive analyses of global career paths, all specifically looking at 2025. So really current stuff.
Excellent. Providing the most current, actionable insights possible.
Exactly.
So I guess the first big question then is why quantum now? It really does feel like we're at a tipping point, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It's certainly not just theoretical physics labs anymore. What shifted? What moved it into being a viable professional field for companies like IBM, Google?
That's a great question. I think the biggest shift is that quantum computing has just matured. It's moved far beyond pure theoretical research.
Okay.
We've seen, significant breakthroughs both in hardware, actually building the machines, and in designing the algorithms that run on them.
Yeah.
That makes it a professionally viable option now. And you see the industry leaders, IBM, Google, Microsoft, plus, honestly, countless startups. They're actively investing, adopting, developing these technologies.
So it's not just academic anymore.
No, not at all. It's a burgeoning industry.
And you mentioned demand earlier. Our sources had some, frankly, astounding figures on job growth. What are we seeing there? You mentioned Dr. Sarah Chen.
Absolutely. The demand is, it's remarkable. Our data shows job openings in quantum have shot up over 400% in just the last 3 years.
400%.
Yeah. Dr. Sarah Chen, she's the quantum research lead at Quantum Tech Solutions. She specifically highlighted this.
Yeah.
And she underscored that the need goes way beyond just quantum physicists.
Which brings us to a really crucial point, because I think a lot of people hear quantum and immediately think, okay, advanced physics PhD or maybe deep computer science background. Is that accurate?
Well, our sources strongly counter that. That's a common misconception. What's really compelling here, and maybe a bit surprising, is how interdisciplinary the field is.
Ah,
It genuinely has a place for almost anyone. That's a quote we saw. Because you need such diverse skill sets to bring this tech to life and actually apply it. It's the whole ecosystem.
that raises a key question then. What if your background isn't purely technical? Or maybe it's in a totally different area. This is where it gets fascinating. Our sources mentioned this 6-to-1 rule.
Ah, yes, that's a powerful statistic.
For every technical role, they need about 6 non-technical jobs. Sales, marketing, customer support, accounting. That seems huge.
It is huge.
Yeah.
And that ratio really just underscores the whole ecosystem needed, right? To get quantum tech from the lab into the market.
So it's not just building the computers.
No, not at all. It's equally about commercializing them, supporting customers, managing these complex projects, running the actual businesses doing the development. It takes a village, as they say.
Okay, so if you're listening and thinking about jumping in, mapping your educational journey is clearly step one. The good news, as he said, is there are diverse entry points. For listeners just starting out, maybe in college or thinking about it, what's that foundational path look like?
Yeah, for beginners, the most common starting point is a bachelor's degree in a core STEM field. So physics, computer science, math, or engineering.
Usual suspects.
Right. And alongside that, it's really vital to layer in foundational courses, quantum mechanics, obviously. Linear algebra is huge. And programming.
What if you don't want to commit to a full degree just yet?
Well, for those just testing the waters, online certificates focusing on quantum computing fundamentals can be a really excellent first step. Get a taste for it.
Okay. And what about professionals? People who already have maybe years of experience in another field, but they're looking to pivot into quantum. How do they bridge that gap?
Yeah, for experienced pros, the path is often more about targeted learning. Specialized online courses in quantum computing are highly recommended. You can also look at graduate certificates in quantum information or computing. And for a deeper dive, maybe without hitting pause on your career entirely, part-time master's programs in quantum fields are becoming more available.
So blending existing skills with new quantum knowledge.
Exactly. It's about being strategic.
And for those ready to go all in, aiming for research or those really specialized roles?
Right. For advanced education, pursuing a master's, or more commonly for deep research, a PhD is the path.
Yeah.
Usually in quantum computing itself, quantum information, physics, or computer science.
Okay.
At that level, the focus really shifts heavily towards research projects. Think quantum algorithms, error correction, maybe quantum hardware design.
Which brings us to something I think will be a relief for many,
Mhm.
the PhD myth. We hear PhD a lot, but is it truly a must-have for working in quantum?
No, not at all. That's crucial to clarify. A PhD is not always necessary.
Okay, good to hear.
Yes, doctoral degrees are definitely common, especially for those deep research roles we mentioned. But many positions, software development, various engineering roles, business analysis, they might only require a bachelor's or master's. The key is having the necessary skills and practical experience.
That's a powerful point. Do we have like a real-world example, someone who transitioned without that advanced quantum degree right at the start?
We do, actually, a fantastic one. Michael Torres. He's now a quantum algorithm developer at Quantum Computing Inc.
Okay.
He actually started his career as a regular software developer. No quantum background initially.
Really?
Yeah. He began by taking online courses while still working full-time and just gradually pivoted into quantum projects. His story really shows how dedication and a structured learning path can open doors.
That's brilliant. It really shows the adaptability, and it leads perfectly into talking about the quantum skill set itself, building that strategically. Let's start at the technical side. Programming languages, our sources had something quite specific here.
They did. And it's interesting. You might think maybe C++ or Julia would dominate for performance.
Right, you might expect that.
But actually, our sources consistently point to Python as the primary language. Across pretty much all the major quantum frameworks, IBM's Qiskit, Google's Cirq.
Python. Why Python?
Well, it seems to be about Python's huge ecosystem of scientific libraries and how easy it is for prototyping. It's making quantum development way more accessible, sort of democratizing it beyond just hardcore systems programmers.
That makes a lot of sense. A democratizing force. Okay, so Python is key. What about the underlying math?
Yep. Alongside Python, you absolutely need strong math foundations, especially linear algebra and complex mathematics. Our sources stress studying these in parallel with quantum algorithms because they're the bedrock for understanding how quantum systems behave.
Got it. So beyond languages and math, on the quantum-specific knowledge side, what are the absolute must-haves people should focus on?
Okay, you definitely need to grasp the basic principles of quantum mechanics, at least as they apply to computation. Right. Understanding quantum gates and circuits, those are the building blocks of quantum programs. And then, of course, getting familiar with key quantum algorithms.
Shor's algorithm.
Exactly. Shor's for factoring, Grover's for search, and also more recent ones like VQE and QAOA. These are critical for things like optimization problems or simulating molecules. You need to understand them, and ideally, there are practical implementations.
Anything else becoming crucial?
Yeah, as the field matures, understanding quantum error correction is going to be increasingly essential. Protecting that fragile quantum information is key to scaling up.
Okay, that covers a lot of the technical ground. But our sources really hammered home the importance of, well, soft skills, which might seem counterintuitive for such a tech-heavy field. Why are they just as important?
It's absolutely crucial because quantum computing is so collaborative and interdisciplinary. You can't work in a silo.
Makes sense.
So yes, technical skills are table stakes. But things like exceptional technical writing for documentation, proposals, papers, robust data analysis, and visualization quantum experiments generate complex data. Basic machine learning knowledge is increasingly useful thanks to quantum ML. And just being good with project management tools for working across teams. These are all highlighted as critical complementary skills.
They let the technical experts actually function effectively in a team.
Precisely. Communicate, collaborate, bring ideas to life.
There's a great quote from Dr. Michelle Simmons, founder of Silicon Quantum Computing. She said, "Anyone joining quantum computing now will help define how this technology gets built and used. Focus on your unique skills and how they can contribute."
That's a fantastic point. Linking to that, Juan Ignacio Cirac from Max Planck advises, learn the foundations deeply, but keep your focus practical. He says the most valuable people are those who bridge theory and application.
Understand the abstract, but also do something with it.
Exactly. That's the sweet spot.
Okay, so knowing the theory, having the skills, that's one thing. But theory alone doesn't land the job, right? How do you get that vital hands-on experience? Let's start with students. What are their best avenues?
Yeah, for students, the academic setting is rich with opportunities. Actively try to join quantum research labs at your university. That's huge.
Get in the lab.
Definitely. Apply for summer internships at quantum companies. Many have specific student programs. And participate in hackathons and quantum challenges. They're intense, but you learn so much so fast.
And maybe capstone projects?
Absolutely. Consider final year projects or theses focused on quantum applications. That builds a tangible portfolio right away.
Okay, what about professionals? Maybe working elsewhere, perhaps in a related field, but not quantum. How can they get practical experience without quitting their day job immediately?
Great question. A really good strategy is contributing to open source quantum projects.
Open source.
Yeah, it shows skill, dedication, collaboration. Plus, a key resource is the IBM Quantum Experience. It lets you access real quantum computers through the cloud.
For free, right?
Yes. You can use it to build a portfolio of actual quantum applications and experiments. It's a fantastic way to demonstrate real skills.
And any general advice for everyone trying to build that practical experience?
Yes, a few key things. First, document everything you create and learn meticulously. That is your portfolio.
Okay.
Second, try to focus on valuable use cases, things that could actually benefit society. Shows foresight. Third, start by really understanding and maybe replicating published quantum algorithms before you try to invent something totally new. Learn the ropes first.
Build on existing work.
Exactly. And finally, always test your ideas using simulators first. Things like the IBM Quantum Experience, Amazon Bracket, Microsoft's Quantum Development Kit. Test thoroughly before running on expensive, real hardware.
Smart. Test beds before deployment. Okay, this is an emerging field, like we said, which makes building your quantum network maybe just as vital as the technical chops. It feels like a close-knit community still.
It really is. And the good news is it's quite accessible to start connecting. Well, you can begin just by joining relevant quantum computing groups online. LinkedIn has several. Reddit, specifically the R Quantum Computing subreddit, is excellent for resources and discussions.
So, online communities.
Definitely. Also follow key researchers and companies on social media to stay updated. Consider joining the Quantum Open Source Foundation, great way to contribute and connect. And don't underestimate meetups, virtual or physical. Meeting people on similar paths is invaluable.
Are there more sort of structured professional groups to look into?
Absolutely. Check out initiatives like the IE Codes, QEDC, that's the Quantum Economic Development Consortium, and also groups like Women in Quantum Development, or YQD.
Okay.
These organizations offer not just networking, but often critical resources, maybe mentorship programs, and they sponsor events and newsletters often aimed specifically at newcomers.
So, getting involved actively, having an industry presence really matters.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
Make the most of workshops and conferences, even just as an attendee or student. Many universities host quantum seminars that are often open to the public, great for learning and meeting local folks.
And hackathons again?
Yes. Premier quantum hackathons are fantastic. You meet peers, potential collaborators, maybe even future employers. In this field, who you know can genuinely be as important as what you know. Connections matter.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty now. The diverse career paths. Because, as we've hinted, this field is way broader than just physicists and labs. That 6-to-1 rule really plays out here.
It absolutely does.
Right.
So first, you have what we can call a technical core. These are the roles really driving the innovation engine.
Right.
Within the engineering department, the folks building the hardware and software, you've got roles like quantum software engineer. They're developing the software, the SDKs, optimizing performance for cloud services like AWS Bracket or Azure Quantum.
Building the tools.
Exactly. Then there's the quantum hardware engineer, designing, fabricating qubits, managing those complex cryogenic cooling systems, developing control electronics, very hands-on.
Okay.
And the quantum systems engineer or architect. They integrate the hardware and software, define the overall system architecture. For these roles, usually a bachelor's or master's in engineering or computer science is common. And companies like IBM hire across different degree levels.
So that's building the machines and the software. Then you mentioned the science department, more fundamental research.
Precisely. This is focused on pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Here you mainly find quantum research scientist roles.
Theoretical and experimental.
Exactly. Theoretical scientists develop new algorithms, prove theoretical limits, publish findings. Experimental scientists are hands-on, running experiments on quantum devices, measuring states, interpreting data.
And these almost always require.
Yeah, these roles pretty much universally demand a PhD. Physics, chemistry, sometimes mathematics. It's deep theoretical or experimental work.
Got it. And then there's that interesting bridge area you mentioned, the research department, but with a more applied focus.
Yes, this is a really dynamic space. Here you find roles like quantum algorithm developer, R&D. They're designing and implementing new algorithms for specific real-world problems. Cryptography, optimization, machine learning, aiming for tangible results.
Okay.
There are also quantum machine learning researchers developing quantum-enhanced ML models. They have to grapple with the limits of current hardware, too. The NISQ-era noisy intermediate-scale quantum devices.
Dealing with imperfect machines.
Right. Then you have quantum error correction researchers designing architectures like surface codes to make quantum computers more robust and scalable. Super important work.
Definitely.
And finally, quantum research engineers. They work on applied research, but with a heavy engineering component, like developing new ways to control qubits. For this applied R&D area, while PhDs are common, a master's degree plus relevant experience can often be sufficient for many roles.
So that's the technical engine room covered. But as we keep saying, it's not just about that core. Those essential support functions are critical to making quantum a real business. Tell us about those.
Right, this is where that 6-to-1 ratio really kicks in. Take the marketing department, they communicate the value, drive adoption.
What kind of roles?
You'll see product marketing managers positioning products, doing market research, marketing communication specialists, creating content, handling PR, educating through blogs, white papers, maybe even podcasts.
Maybe.
And community and developer relations, engaging with the developer ecosystem, organizing hackathons. Often requires a bachelor's in marketing, business, or comms. Sometimes dual technical expertise is a big plus.
Makes sense. And the sales department, selling these complex solutions must be challenging.
It is. It's very consultative. You'll find quantum sales executives or account managers identifying clients, managing the sales cycle, business development managers looking at strategic growth, partnerships.
And technical sales support.
Crucial. That's the sales engineer or solutions architect. They provide the technical backup, do demos, proofs of concept. For sales, a business or marketing degree is common, but technical degrees are highly valued, especially for those sales engineers bridging the tech and business gap.
Naturally. And of course, every tech company needs solid finance and accounting.
Absolutely. Handling financial health, compliance. Roles include accountant bookkeeper managing transactions, maybe specialized things like R&D tax credits or grant accounting, which is big in research-heavy fields.
Right.
Financial analysts doing budgeting, forecasting, ROI analysis for quantum projects, and grants contracts managers handling research funding. Usually needs a bachelor's in finance or accounting. Certifications like CPA or CFA help.
And HR. Finding people for these niche roles must be a specialized skill in itself.
Incredibly important. The Human Resources Department manages talent and culture, especially crucial for acquiring and retaining this highly specialized workforce.
What roles specifically?
You need talent acquisition specialists or technical recruiters who understand the field enough to source quantum physicists and engineers, often globally. HR generalist managers handle onboarding, policies, performance. And people operations or HR business partners focus on optimizing the employee experience, often using data, usually a bachelor's in HR, psychology, or business, maybe with HR certifications.
And then overseeing it all, the executive departments.
Right. Your C-suite, CEO, CTO, Chief Science Officer, CSO, CFO, COO, various VPs. These are culmination roles held by people with extensive experience, often advanced degrees relevant to their domain, PhDs for technical leaders, MBAs for business leaders. They steer the ship in this very new, fast-moving sea.
Wow, that's a huge range. Christus Four from Microsoft Quantum had a great quote related to this. Diversity of thought is our greatest asset. If you're coming from another field, don't see your background as a disadvantage. It's actually your unique lens that we need.
That's incredibly encouraging, isn't it? It really reinforces that this field needs all sorts of perspectives.
Absolutely. It makes it clear it's not just for a tiny group.
Yeah, and beyond those broad departments, our sources also mentioned other specific roles showing the breadth. Quantum application developer, quantum application scientist, quantum product manager, quantum test engineer, even quantum education and outreach specialist, each with unique tasks and expertise needed. The possibilities are vast.
Okay, finally, let's talk about landing the job and staying ahead. You've got the skills, you know the path you want. Where should you actually look for these jobs?
Definitely target the major tech companies with big quantum initiatives,
Hmm.
IBM, Google, Microsoft, Amazon. But also keep a very close eye on the quantum startups. IonQ, Rigetti, D-Wave, Sequantum, Zapata. There are many others.
Beyond the big names and startups.
Yeah, don't forget established research labs. Yeah. Universities are still major hubs, consulting firms that are building quantum practices, and even traditional industries starting to apply quantum, think for pharma, finance, logistics. The ecosystem's growing fast.
Once you've identified targets, how do you make your applications stand out? It must be competitive.
It is. First, customize your resume. Use those quantum-relevant keywords. Cryptography, QSHOC, quantum algorithms, whatever fits your skills.
Keywords are key.
Absolutely. Crucially, build that portfolio, showcasing your quantum projects, your open source contributions, maybe work done on the IBM quantum experience, and develop a clear quantum story.
Your narrative.
Exactly. Explain your interest, your journey, your experience in the field. Why you? That story can be really impactful.
And for the interview itself, any specific prep needed beyond the usual?
We'll review the fundamentals, obviously, but also practice explaining complex quantum ideas in simple terms. It shows true understanding if you can do that.
The Feynman technique, sort of?
Kinda, yeah. Be ready for technical questions, maybe solving algorithm problems, and definitely be prepared to demonstrate practical experience with the frameworks and tools. They want to see you can actually do the work.
Makes sense. But landing the job isn't the end, is it? This field moves so fast, continuous learning must be critical.
Oh, absolutely essential. It's not just recommended. It's basically a requirement for staying relevant in quantum. The pace of change is incredible.
So how do you stay current?
Subscribe to the key quantum computing journals and newsletters. Actively participate in ongoing professional development workshops, online courses. Set up Google Alerts for quantum computing news. You'll get breakthroughs delivered to your inbox.
Still plugged in.
Exactly. And critically, try to follow the quantum technology roadmaps that companies and consortia publish. They help you anticipate what skills will be needed next so you can proactively build them.
Be future-proof, or at least future-aware.
Something like that, yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, the big takeaway seems to be the quantum revolution isn't necessarily waiting for decades of niche experience. It's looking for people ready to jump in now with passion, curiosity, creativity, your ongoing quest for knowledge, your adaptability. Those seem like the real keys in this emerging industry.
And maybe a final thought to leave people with. Given that this industry needs not just, Einstein-level geniuses, but also curious, creative people from incredibly diverse backgrounds, how might your unique skills, your current knowledge, maybe interests that seem totally unrelated right now, how might they become the unexpected key to unlocking the next quantum breakthrough or solving some tough problem in this field?
That's a fantastic question to ponder. Really gets you thinking about unique contributions. And if you are ready to continue your quantum journey, we have some recommended resources from our sources.
Yeah, definitely check out the Quizzkit textbook, IBM's free resource. It's really comprehensive.
Okay.
Online learning platforms like edX and Coursera have structured courses. Microsoft's quantum documentation is also excellent. And look for things like the Quantum Career Roadmap online.
What about books?
For a good start, Quantum Computing for Everyone by Chris Bernhardt is very accessible. And for practical coding, Programming Quantum Computers from O'Reilly is often recommended.
Excellent. Plenty there to get started or go deeper. Thank you. This has been incredibly insightful.
My pleasure. This is an exciting time to be talking about this.